News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KBNU.
KBNU News Time is 4:03. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by Logan Extermination. A 58-year-old woman died after being fatally struck by a pickup truck while jogging. The auto-pedestrian accident occurred near 750 East, 1400 North last evening around 5:35. Utah Highway Patrol Sergeant Cameron Roden said the accident happened as the woman was jogging westbound on 1400 North in front of the Oak Ridge apartment complex. At the time of the incident, a pickup truck and a semi were both traveling eastbound in the same area. Roden explained that the Dodge Dakota pickup had just passed the semi on the left and switched into the right lane. Shortly after, it was reported that the woman crossed to the median and then walked in front of the pickup, resulting in the collision. According to emergency radio traffic, the woman suffered critical injuries and was not moving after the crash. She was transported by ambulance to Logan Regional Hospital, where she was later pronounced dead. UHP is investigating the crash due to a conflict of interest with the Logan City Police Department. Roden said troopers are working to confirm the events as reported. As part of the investigation, eastbound lanes of 1400 North were temporarily closed while a crash reconstruction team was called in to diagram the scene. The incident remains under investigation. KBNU News Time is 4:04. Our forecast for the rest of today, good chance of rain showers and then a 30% chance of showers this evening. And overnight low, it's going to be down into the 20s. Partly cloudy skies and mid-40s on Wednesday. We're seeing a little bit of snow actually mixing in with some of the rain this afternoon, and the temperatures kind of bear that out. Temperatures headed down to 36 is where we are right now at KBNU. Hey, make sure to call Logan Extermination at 435-752-8450 and get a winter fertilization application on your lawn so you can see a greener, more lush lawn sooner next spring. Call 435-752-8450.
Hi there. We're your new neighbors, the Voles. I'm Horrible, and this is my wife, Terrible. Hi! It's been such a great summer, we gotta have an army of children. Now we're fixing to tear up your yard. The only warning sign of us is some surface tunneling holes, and then boom! Yard death! What do you think? Should we get started, Ma? Yep. These guys aren't gonna call the troops at Logan Extermination.
Voles are a problem. They can tear up your lawn and garden. But there is something you can do. Call Logan Extermination at 752-8450.
KBNU News Time is 4:06. 2 people died, 2 others were airlifted to a nearby hospital after an apparent carbon monoxide incident in Carbon County. Deputies with the Carbon County Sheriff's Office said the incident happened last Saturday around 9 p.m. in response to reports of carbon monoxide poisoning in a remote area in the northwest part of the county. Upon arrival, officials found 4 people affected by the incident. 2 of the people died during the incident, while 2 others were flown to a nearby hospital for further specialized treatment. Deputies said in their statement that their thoughts and prayers were with the family during this difficult time. Additional details, including the identities of those who died during the incident, were not released. And it's been 2 years since 10-year-old Izzy Ticknor took her own life. Her mom, Brittany, said she died by suicide after being bullied at school over her race and disability. A vigil was held in Izzy's honor Monday night at Larkin Mortuary in Sandy. Brittany wanted the vigil to be held in Sandy because she was able to get a headstone for Izzy. This year's vigil honoring Izzy focused on suicide awareness. There was a dove release, song, prayer, lessons, and signs. A joint statement between the family and the Davis School District read, "The tragic loss of Isabelle Izzy Ticknor in November 2021 will always impact our community and school. Working together, Davis School District and Izzy's family have reached a mutual resolution. KBNU News Time is 4:08. For more details on these and other stories, visit CacheValleyDaily.com.
Your station for the Aggies. News Talk KVNU, 102 FM, 610 AM. And on Alexa, Google, online, or the KVNU mobile app.
Attention homeowners, winter is just around the corner, and that means now is the time to call Hall Tree Care for your last chance to get your overgrown trees trimmed before the snow starts falling. Overgrown trees are a ticking time bomb once the snow hits. Hall Tree Care's expert arborist and cleanup crew know exactly how to handle those unruly trees. They'll trim, prune, and secure your trees so they stand strong against winter's wrath. Call 760-6587. That's HULL Tree Care, 760-6587.
Our children and grandchildren want to live here, and we want them to be here. We must find ways to ensure that our community has safe and affordable housing for all stages of life. I bring experience and a proven track record of creating solutions for Logan. I am Jeannie Simmons, and I ask for your vote.
Paid for by Jeannie Simmons for Logan City Council.
For the people.
We are waiting with bated breath for news from the Cache Republican Party meeting an executive committee tonight.
With Jason Williams.
And I'm really excited about this next segment. We have two guests here in studio. We're going to talk about something that we've talked about many times here on the show, but from a bit of a different angle.
Weekday afternoons from 4 till 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM.
Welcome to KVNU's For the People, hour one of today's show, Tuesday, November 7th. I'm Jason Williams, Bill Walter here in the studio. A message from Logan City. This probably goes valley-wide, though. And as Bill mentioned, things might get even a little uglier as temperatures dip if this rain keeps up and turns to snow. But Logan City asking residents to go out and take a look, if you haven't already, at curbs and gutters near your home. It is Bill's ready over there with.
I'm hoping to accept a spud nut.
He's got the donut papers ready. Oh, that made me
They're
laugh.
in the other studio.
We're gonna have to go raid the fan to get our donuts today.
They get all the breaks. Those guys.
Logan City asking residents in general, but specifically this afternoon, I passed a couple of intersections that would be examples of this, but a lot of leaf removal happening from yards into the gutters, a lot of leaves in the gutters from falling from the tree.
Not supposed to do.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
It happens sometimes. But.
Yeah, I noticed on my way down 2nd North to the station here, I noticed that it looks like a few folks have done it there, and then this rain comes. Well, the intersection at 2nd North and 1st West, also 1st North and 1st West, also Center Street and 1st West, also 1st South and 1st West. It is, without a doubt, a lot of water coming down, and those leaves and sticks and all of that clogging those gutters up. And it was a lake in a couple of those intersections. It was... definitely dangerous driving conditions. So a couple of different warnings on this. One, as the sun goes down here in a very short period of time, unfortunately, it's going to be problematic. If you have ever hit a deep standing pool of water in a car at even 25, 30 miles an hour, it doesn't take a lot of speed for you to lose control of your vehicle. And so those intersections, people hitting those pools of water there with those clogged gutters and sliding out into the intersection sideways. I didn't see that, but I did see the lakes of water. So residents can do a bit to help here. Thank you, Bill. That is just go out and take a broom, a rake, a shovel if needed, and just all you have to do really is kind of swish the stuff around. A lot of times you don't even have to remove it. You just swish it around, break it up a little bit, and it'll take care of itself at that point. But if there's standing water near your home, there's a selfish reason for you to want to go do this, whether it's your business or your home. That is how flooding of basements happens as well. Saturation of the ground as those gutters pile up and that water runs onto the sidewalks. It starts seeping into your yard, and then eventually, left long enough, will make its way up to your foundation and into your basement. It's an easy thing to go do. The city's out. I noticed 2 or 3 trucks with the flashing lights out on my way to the station today, out cleaning the gutters off of Main Street and on Main Street. 4th North and Main was pretty clogged up, and big pool of water there as well. Wherever you're at listening right now, and this applies to everyone in the Valley, not just the message comes from Logan City, but anywhere in the Valley, do a favor to drivers, pedestrians, kids going to school, and yourself, as far as potential traffic accidents and flooded basements, and go out and take a look if you're street side in your home. Go out and take a look. Make sure the water, if there is water, is flowing through your area. And if you want to be nice, go all the way down to the corner. Make sure it's flowing under those culverts and driveways. Make sure that it's draining out of that corner culvert instead of pooling into the road. Again, you can save yourself some flooding headaches. You can save yourself or someone else a potential traffic accident hitting one of those pools in the dark. I did it once in a little Honda Accord.
Oh.
Yeah, I was only going 30. Luckily, that was the speed limit. Well, I think the speed limit was actually 35, but you can
do a little bit of damage.
Yeah, I did.
Hydroplaning.
The damage this was the most irritating part. The damage was my alternator. And that on a Honda Accord is not a very easy thing to do by yourself, at least the newer ones, and is very expensive, actually, labor-wise, to have it done because of its location. It was enough water to soak. Most alternators can handle getting wet, but this was a lot of water all the way up in my engine compartment. And I saw it kind of squirt through the cracks in the hood as I hit that pool. I didn't see it. It was dark, and the way the street lights were reflecting, it just looked like wet road. I came up on it at 30 miles an hour, and so save yourself a headache, save yourself a flooded basement, save your neighbor a flooded basement, and save someone else or yourself from a potential traffic accident. Also, those kids walking to school, having to wade through some of those deep puddles and sit in school all day with wet shoes. And all it takes is you going out with a broom or a shovel and just kind of move stuff around over the culvert, or if it's blocked, as it runs under your driveway, just kind of move things around a little bit. The water will usually do the rest of the pushing for you. It's an easy thing to do and can really save yourself, your neighbors, drivers, and pedestrians a lot of headache. So, again, Logan City out doing the best they can to get to the worst of them as we speak. But you can help them out. And again, that goes for anyone in the valley right now. Just make sure the water's flowing freely through those ditches and culverts in front of your house. There was an incident on Main Street, Hiram, a couple of years ago in the fall with a heavy rainstorm coming in, and someone had blown their leaves off their driveway into the gutter repeatedly until it had packed up around one of those driveways over the ditch, over the culvert. And that water then ran down the north side of Main Street and down the sidewalk, flooded 5 different homes. And that was in one afternoon. There was that much water coming down. So, yeah, it's an easy thing for you to go out and do. And you might get a little wet, especially right now. But a decent amount of rain coming down. And as Bill said, temperatures expected to... It's a little cooler now than was forecast for the afternoon already. And so expected to dip down, and it will get below freezing tonight. If this rain keeps up, we will see snow. And that on top of standing water. Yeah. Just
the thing is, it's supposed to kind of die down tonight
hopefully
and move out. But that being said, we could see a little bit this evening. And
then sunny and very, very fall-like temperatures the rest of the week, right? A little chilly at nights, but a decent rest of the week if we can get through today. So, but again, if there is standing water in front of your home, that's a risk to you, a risk to drivers, a risk to pedestrians, and it's a really easy thing to take care of. That also applies to your business. If you are, along the streets there, along Main Street, something like that, you see those blockages, just go out and remove them. Save everybody a headache, and it's pretty easy to do. So on my way here, I let our news team know, and they were able to get word out. It's been cleaned up since, but there was, I don't have details, but there was a pretty serious-looking accident at the Maverick intersection, as folks in Nibley and Millville will call it. It's in Millville, but it's literally right on the border of Millville and Nibley at that three-way intersection there, and it had traffic backed up. When I came through headed north, the stalled traffic was sitting through the lights almost to Macy's. So if you're caught in that today, it was an accident that caused that. I did get word of a couple of other accidents from listeners as well that have, I'm sure at this point, have been cleaned up and no longer affecting traffic. But again, it's just a reminder that the roads are wet. There is this, annual learning curve that happens as the seasons change, as we head into fall and winter. So as the temperatures dip tonight and we potentially get our first snow, you have some audio from a listener?
I do. It's somebody that we know in common. Brent just barely sent this to me.
Bill, it's snowing like crazy through Sardine Canyon.
It is snowing like crazy in Sardine
Canyon right now.
I would, and looking at the Wellsvilles, I mean, the snow level is.
It came down a lot.
Yeah,
overnight.
It's down. It's covering the Wellsvilles completely.
Yeah.
So, I would imagine Logan Canyon might be dicey as well right now.
Well, and again, there's that learning curve. That I do it myself. By February, we're all pros again, right? In our four-wheel drives and our all-wheel drives, we might have to slow down to 20, but we just keep going. The first few incidents of snow and frozen roads, it always seems like there's a little bit of a, hey, you might want to slow down reminder that's worth putting out there. So tonight might be the night. Again, as Bill said, it's supposed to taper off, but if it doesn't, the temperatures will go low enough for freezing roads and snow. And again, things are pretty wet out there already. So, be careful behind the wheel is what we're saying. This is possibly the first winter driving conditions that we might see as we're still in fall here for a few more weeks. It's life in Utah. So coming up, our good friend Diane Weese will be joining us to talk about this year's American Mothers Conference, happening again entirely online. This is proven something they were forced to do in the pandemic in 2020, but it's proven to be a way for them to get more people to attend, because they can attend live when the event happens, but they can also virtually attend afterwards, and it's really increased their reach, celebrating mothers here in Utah. So Diane will be joining us. Craig Peterson joining us at 5 o'clock for the For the People Book Club. And this week we'll be talking about All the President's Men and the follow-up to that. This is a kind of a lesser-known part of the story. All the President's Men by Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein was, of course, a famous book detailing their reporting, and that in the end was part of a collection of reporters who broke stories that brought down a president. What happened after Nixon resigned? Well, that was a follow-up book that Woodward and Bernstein also penned, and it gets very little discussion. We're going to talk about it today on the For the People Book Club. All of that coming up after this quick break.
If cost is preventing you from calling an attorney after your accident, you can stop worrying now. You can call the Advocates and discuss your case with an experienced Cache Valley attorney at no cost to you. At the Advocates, when we say you pay zip, nil, nothing, we mean it. Our consultations are free and we don't get paid unless we win your case. Let us be your advocate and we will fight for the settlement you deserve without you ever opening your wallet. Call 801-355-5550 or chat online at utahadvocates.com.
It's a home football Saturday when the Utah State Aggies kick off at 1 p.m. versus Nevada. Locker 42 will have you ready for this military appreciation game with new and unique camouflage Aggie gear. Special military-themed hats by Operation Hat Trick. With temperatures in the 40s, you'll stay warm with an Igloo fan wrapped Locker 42 exclusive. Locker 42, supporting the Aggies, our military, and our fans.
The Aggies are returning home. Saturday, Utah State football hosts the Nevada Wolfpack.
I love that we're going to be at home. I don't take that for granted at all. Every win right now is huge, and so we're going to keep working to get better. We're going to claw our way, hopefully, to another win and get one step closer to a bowl game.
Pre-game begins at 11. Kickoff is at 1. And post-game and Aggie Call immediately follows the game. It's the Aggies and the Wolfpack. Saturday on News Talk KVNU, the heritage home for the Aggies.
If you're just tuning in, Bill and I have a mutual friend, our good friend Brent, longtime listener, first-time caller, as they say. He let us know that right now it is snowing in Sardine Canyon. I'm not sure if this is the first snow. I know that there was a forecast of potential snow at the summit a few weeks ago in a storm, and that didn't.
Yeah, got to be the first significant snow.
I think this is probably the first one to stick. Looking at these UDOT cameras, it is on the ground and staying there in Sardine Canyon near the summit. So that weather is here. We've had it. We can't complain. It's been a pretty mild fall. Decent amount of precipitation. As I mentioned earlier in the week, we've been a little above average, which is good news.
We didn't get, because the last 2 years, we didn't get that October snow that just wreaked havoc.
Remember
that didn't happen this year.
Remember we had back-to-back. There was the big windstorm in October that blew down all the trees, and cities were, having green waste deposit sites the size of parking lots opened up for people to do all the clearing. And then it was the very next year that we got that big snowstorm in October that also brought down a lot of the tree branches.
Yeah.
And everyone was out there cleaning up again. Yeah, we've been lucky. It's been a mild October.
I think 2 years ago. I think they were still cleaning that up.
Yeah,
in January.
February.
Yeah.
It was. I know that south end of the valley. I know Nibley and Hiram City both opened up some huge green waste deposit sites that are traditionally used for other things. And it was just mountains of trees and branches. Logan City's landfill green waste site. By the way, I don't know if anyone used that this year. I got to give a thumbs up to Logan City here. In addition to, throwing their message out, asking people to clear their gutters, make sure the water's flowing smoothly as this rain comes down and potentially turns to snow. Don't, invite a flood in your own basement. Don't make a risk for for drivers out there or even kids walking to school in the morning by leaving a standing lake. If you see standing water in your block, just go out and clear that gutter or driveway, whatever it might be, and get that water flowing before the sun goes down. Do everyone a huge favor, including yourself. It's a good way to get your basement flooded, to let that standing water sit in your yard or near your yard. But I have to throw this out to Logan City. So where I'm from, my part of the valley, they were not able to get a contract for green waste this year. I don't know why. A lot of cities said they were not able to. And a lot of people responded with, "Did you not know this was coming?" Which I think is a fair response from residents. But I also know that it was more difficult, I think, than anybody anticipated. I don't think it'll be an issue next year. But anyway, a lot of cities said for your green waste, Logan City green waste site is going to be your option. So, of course,
but you have to take it there.
You got to take it there, yeah. And so a lot more travel for a lot more people. And, of course, I noticed a lot more branches on the road because in Utah we don't like to secure our loads, which is a really, really selfish thing to do. You can really hurt somebody dropping even a small branch out of your truck or trailer on the way to the green waste. But that aside, I just have to throw this out because it was so convenient. Despite the extended travel time for me to get rid of, and granted, I might not feel this way if I had to do a lot this year. I didn't plan to be prepared like I was, but I did most of my massive pruning and trimming last year, and I only have to do it every other year. So there wasn't a lot this year, only 2 loads that I took over. But man, Logan City, there's a central lane for green waste. So you don't even wait in line for the guard shack. They are asking you to stop. There's a stop sign for you there, and then they see that you're there with green waste, and they just kind of take a look, make sure you aren't hiding something else under the green waste, and then wave you through. And you go just past the shack to the left, head out, just follow the pavement. Don't get on any of the dirt roads. They won't take you where you want to go. Follow the pavement out. It'll take you right to the green waste site. There are 2 different ways in, so there are 2 different places for people to pull in and back up and dump their green waste. And then they have, a constant crew of folks in loaders and the small skids pushing that stuff up to make sure there's space for the next set of vehicles coming in. Just really well done and really convenient. In and out of there in like 5 minutes. And I'll be honest with you, it was easier than the bins. If you've been using those bins, in your city over the years for green waste, this was actually easier. I might be a Logan green waste supplier from here on out. So, again, a lot easier than the bins. With that in mind, again, a listener had asked last week on this, and I did some follow-up to get a for sure date on this. The green waste, a listener had asked last week, and I guessed the answer was no time soon. But the listener wanted to know when the green waste site at Logan City closes. It doesn't. At a certain point, of course, it isn't coming up. Once the snows hit, that green waste delivery pretty much stops. But that is actually part of the landfill that is snow is cleared on the roads, and it is open year-round. Should you have a branch break in December or January, something like that, that is an option for you. But no closure date on that green waste, but it eventually just kind of stops coming up until the spring. So I was able to confirm that with Logan City. All right. One quick announcement here, really quick. There is a story on this at CashValleyDaily.com as well. But Craig Hislop reporting Veterans Day events this week at USU are starting on Thursday. So for those interested, just something to keep in mind. Thursday, November 9th is when events begin at Utah State University. And then Veterans Day, of course, is this Saturday, November 11th. Andy Allen, a retired Army Lieutenant Colonel, directs the USU Veterans Resource Office. And he told Craig Veterans Day at USU is about honoring those less than 1%ers who showed tremendous character by signing up to do exceedingly hard things. And they'll be honoring them with a series of days of events starting Thursday with the USU Veterans Day event, starting at 5 p.m. with the Air Force ROTC hosting a POW MIA vigil for 24 hours on the USU Quad. That's something to see if you've never seen it. They do 24 hours of basically occupying the quad and ceremony there. Airmen will be conducting the vigil there, and they'll do that until 5 p.m. Friday, November 10th. Friday morning, there's a 2-mile military cadence run down Aggie Boulevard. If you want to register, you still can, but you can also just get out and support the runners Friday morning. And that will start at the Aggie Recreation Center and then go down Aggie Boulevard. And then 11:30 on Friday, USU President Betsy Cantwell will speak at the Veterans Day commemoration event at the Taggart Student Center International Lounge. Then they've got a free barbecue lunch. They've asking people to bring a can of food to be entered into the College of Education Human Services raffle. And then events continue through Saturday and wrap up Saturday evening with a Veterans Day Memorial Concert at 7:30 at the Chase Fine Arts Center and the Danes Concert Hall, featuring the American Festival Chorus and the USU Symphony Orchestra. So there you have it. Veterans Day events lineup. The full story and details at cachevalleydaily.com by Craig Hislop. And we'll be back on the other side, checking with our friend Diane Weese to tell us about the 2023 annual American Mothers Conference, how you can attend after these headlines with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News Time is 4:33. An investigation is underway after a student allegedly brought a weapon to a middle school in Utah County. According to an email sent to parents by the school's principal, it states that a student reported a rumor they heard to staff about a possible gun at Viewmont Middle School in Lehigh. The email went on to say that a school resource officer removed the alleged student from class and found a firearm in the student's backpack. School officials added there was no threat made to other students or to the school. The incident remained under investigation. An intersection has been closed for a little bit longer than originally anticipated. 400 East, 2700 North in North Logan. That area around there is closed for work until about 6:30 this evening. And again, we do have reports of some standing water in parts of the valley with all the rain we've received, and there has been some snow in the canyons. We've heard Sardine Canyon has picked up some snow this afternoon. We'll check the forecast in just a moment. Last night, Utah State taking care of South Dakota Mines, 101-48 in the Spectrum. You heard that on KVNU. And congratulations to the women's volleyball team clinching the regular season Mountain West Championship after defeating Boise State 3-1. And more Aggie news, Utah State soccer making its first NCAA championship appearance since 2012 and just its third in program history. The Aggies travel to Provo to face number 1 seed BYU Friday evening at 6 at BYU South Field. And KVNU weather for tonight. Possibility of some rain showers, maybe some snow showers if the temperature is cold enough. But then starts to move out later on tonight. Overnight low in the mid-20s. And then tomorrow, a partly cloudy day, but only in the mid-40s for the high. It is 36 right now at KVNU. KVNU weather brought to you by U&I Furniture, a big assortment of dining tables they recently picked up from name brand manufacturers, some with benches and swivel stools. They have big tables to small tables for family gatherings, chairs, all sorts of chairs as well. Always a better buy at U&I, downtown Logan, 28 West, 1st North.
On this election day, every legislative seat is on the ballot in Virginia.
How are you, sir? Good. Great to see you. Have you voted yet? Yes, sir. Okay, awesome. If you've got 10 friends, send them a text. I will. Thank you.
Governor Glenn Youngkin urging Virginians to vote Republican. President Biden telling ABC News that he asked Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu during their phone call Monday to pause IDF action in Gaza so humanitarian aid could get in, hostages could be rescued, and civilians could get out. Members of Congress in both parties gathering on the steps of the Capitol tonight for a vigil honoring the victims of the Hamas October 7th attack on Israel.
While we mourn, remember, and pray, we also reiterate that America stands with Israel in its hour of great need.
Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Ukrainian President Zelensky ruling out a presidential election next spring, saying the nation must concentrate all of its resources on fighting Russia. Daria Albinger, ABC News. From ABC News, Wall Street now. Stocks continue to tick higher as the markets absorb the big swings, which have shaken them in recent weeks. The Dow rose 57 points, the Nasdaq jumped 121, and the S&P added 12 for the session. Benchmark crude fell back to $78 a barrel, where it was in July. Earnings season rolls on. Robinhood reporting after the close its third quarter numbers falling short of analyst expectations. EV maker Lucid Group also reporting lower than anticipated numbers. WeWork is no longer working. The office-sharing company that promised the way people did their jobs would change has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. It's entering into a restructuring support agreement with the majority of its stakeholders to drastically reduce its debt while evaluating its commercial office lease portfolio. It's expected to cancel leases at all WeWork locations that are non-operational. All affected members had received advance notice. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
This is Robin Goody, Nursing Director at Legacy House of Logan. Legacy House is thrilled to team up with the Little Lambs Foundation to help Cache Valley families in need with babies. If you can, anytime in November, drop off essential baby items. Really anything a baby might need. Gift cards and cash donations are also appreciated. Please drop off your donations at Legacy House of Logan during the month of November. With your generous contributions, Little Lambs has been able to touch the lives of countless young ones. For more information, please call Legacy House of Logan. Thank you.
CNBC News reported Wall Street has purchased hundreds of thousands of single-family homes since the Great Recession. It also reported institutional investors may control 40% of U.S. rental homes by 2030. Have you noticed your neighborhood struggling, converting into short-term rentals and apartments? Logan City Council is considering raising rental home limitations from 3 unrelated residents to 4. What does Joe think?
This is Joe Needham. My platform says no to more rentals in our residential zones. Give me your vote, and let's take back our neighborhoods. More information at votejoeneedham.com.
Hi, it's Congressman Mike Simpson. Did you know my office can assist you when navigating a federal agency? That's right. As your representative, I can help you obtain a passport, work through IRS claims or issues with the Social Security Administration or Veterans Affairs. My team and I are available at our offices in Idaho and Washington, D.C. Contact us at 208-734-7219 or at simpson.house.gov. See you around town.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Even though the weather's grown colder, you still have time to have your fruit trees pruned. Logan Extermination says your trees need to be trimmed back in order to achieve success next year. And this is the first step to a bountiful harvest. However, you could do more bad than good if you don't know what you're doing. Save the headache and call Logan Extermination today and get a jump on tree pruning. Prices will vary depending on your needs. Logan Extermination, 752-8450.
This holiday season, we're grateful for you at Murdoch Chevrolet GMC Cadillac. Let's celebrate together during our Season of Giving sales event. We're grateful for your trust, your loyalty, and the moments you've shared with us. Right now, take up to $7,500 off a new Sierra 1500. When you walk through our doors, you feel like family. At Murdoch Chevrolet GMC Cadillac in Logan or online at murdochchevroletlogan.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Call 866-628-3065 as a dealer for complete details. Offer expires 11/30/23.
Hi, this is Rusty Allen with LSS Insurance. There are so many choices when it comes to Medicare. Annual enrollment is October 1st through December 7th. Call LSS Insurance 752-9493. We are here to help. We will research plan benefits and costs and look up your medications so there are no surprises at the pharmacy. There is no cost to work with us, and you will love having a local agent. Call 752-9493. Want to get the most out of your Medicare benefits? Come see us at LSS Insurance.
This is Mark Anderson. Come celebrate a white Christmas with Anderson Seed and Garden. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Come celebrate white Christmas with Anderson Seed and Garden. We are potentially giving away $40,000 in merchandise for the first 50 people who spend $500 or more on holiday and Christmas decor between now and November 24th. If it snows at least 4 inches on Christmas Day and you made a qualifying purchase, your purchase is free. But you only have until November 24th to qualify. Only at Anderson Seed and Garden, Logan. See store for official rules.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. It is a pleasure to invite our next guest to join us here on the show. What has become an annual tradition here on For the People to highlight this event. And the 2023, which marks the 34th annual American Mothers Conference, is coming up November 15th at 7:30 p.m. Joining us now, one of the organizers, and again, what has become a fun tradition here on the show, to invite Diane Weese to join us. And Diane, appreciate you taking time for KVNU again, and tell us what all of you have planned this year.
Well, we're real excited about this conference. We started back 34 years ago in our home. We would rotate one class to another and learn about parenting, and then move to bigger places. And now we're back online due to COVID, and also realizing that we can reach more homes when we have it on YouTube. So it will be launching on the 15th of November, but actually you can see it for several months on the YouTube if you go to American Mothers Utah. We are thrilled about this conference. We will be featuring Michelle Craig. She is a gifted speaker and a strong advocate for families. She was involved with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as a counselor over the young women. And she sees the everyday things as the important things. She graduated from elementary ed from BYU and just loves devoting her life to family and community and education. It has already been filmed. We have a great professional filmer, Maddie Pope. So I already know that it is worth your time to tune in, starting on the 15th.
It's very cool. And Diane, as I explained to listeners, this was something that you all first toyed with in 2020 when the pandemic was in full swing, taking this all online. And you found that this was a way to reach even more people. What kind of feedback have you gotten, as you've been able to produce these online, and then, as you said, for people to be able to watch them for months if they're not able to make the official launch on November 15th? What are you hearing from attendees and fans of the conference?
Well, they're thrilled to have it online. We're kind of that way with our technology now. But mothers and fathers, they're pretty good at multitasking. And if you have a YouTube, you can clean your house or or go to work or do two things at once. And then, like I say, I've heard this because we recorded it, and I want to go back and listen to this great, wonderful speech that Michelle Craig does on this. Now, our theme is Look to the Day. And, when we look to the day, we all seem to wake up with quite a lengthy list of things that we need to do.
Sure.
And it can be overwhelming because we're all pretty hard on ourselves. So we start running. We try to cross things off our list. Well, the other day I was thinking about this particular theme in this conference, and I was literally out running.
Oh, wow.
Actually jogging because I'm old now. But I was feeling quite good about my run, and I only had a small distance before I was home, and I stepped up over a curb, and my foot caught the curb, and I tripped. It scared me as I thought I was going to fall like I did 3 months ago, causing road rash and a tender knee.
Oh, no.
But luckily I caught myself, and I thought, wow, I am glad I didn't fall. I felt so grateful and so blessed. I think this is how we look to the day. When we fall as parents, when we stumble, when we suffer, when we struggle or fight sickness or pain, when we feel bruised, we need to be grateful. Grateful for the day. Grateful that we can pick up our feet and get back up again and see the small glimpses of hope in each day. And I think that's what
sometimes a challenge, right? A challenge to do that. It's easy to get caught up in your worries or your problems or your and maybe even get bogged down and think to yourself, I can't do this. But the message of this year's conference, you're saying, you know, we especially mothers can do it. You might not want to that day, but you can.
May not like up, right?
That's right.
That's on list. But also, I've been thinking about, you know, what makes each of us remember a day, or how does a day stand out, or how are certain days the best days of our lives? And I think if we can think that way, we realize it's always love and the small things and the hope that little things bring to families. And, you know, there is a lot of struggle right now and a lot of conflict. And our organization, I don't think many people know this, but it's been going for 90 years.
That's amazing.
And it started back with the conflict of the Civil War. And one woman took the time, her name was Anna Reeves Jarvis, to set up a Friendship Day that later became the holiday of Mother's Day, which American Mothers sponsored. So we're still in similar times where we're fighting a lot of different issues, and it's not always easy.
Sure, a lot of challenges to being a mother these days. In fact, you know, Diane, we just talked about this recently on the show with a guest from Utah State University. What it would be like being a mom these days, right? Raising a kid in the age of, you know, the always connected smartphone and social media, and some of the challenges that presents in the fact that you now have young children who have access to worldwide news, and oftentimes they're not getting that information filtered through a parent who can help them understand it and process it. They're just getting it shoved in their face by a pop-up. That alone, and that's just one example. But for listeners, that's what this conference is about. It's celebrating Utah mothers, celebrating the American mother, and again, the 34th annual American Mothers Conference getting underway with the official launch at 7:30 on November 15th, the 34th annual American Mothers Conference. And Diane, I remember in previous years, last year, for example, I loved the theme last year. You had a speaker at the 33rd annual conference whose entire presentation was basically embrace the unexpected, embrace interruptions, embrace plans falling apart. And it was really fun to hear that message. But that's an example of what you're trying to do always is speak to moms, but also speak to others about mothers, right? And the importance of mothers and the respect we should all have for our mothers, right?
Yes, and I really appreciated your comments last year. It's been fun to do some interviewing with you. We started back with Jenny Christensen.
Oh, yeah. Years ago.
And now we feel quite honored to have you, that you have such strong feelings for your mother.
Yes.
And the influence she was. And I do want to mention this is a family conference, too.
Sure. For everybody, right?
It's for everybody, because everyone needs to look to the day and see all those positive things that can come, even though we are, you know, struggling or in pain or not knowing quite which direction to turn to.
And that can easily creep up on any of us. We've all been there, right? It's for listeners, as Diane mentioned, you can find this conference. It officially launches at 7:30 on November 15th. If you can't make it at that time to see it live as it premieres, it will be available afterwards. And you can find both the November 15th, 7:30 premiere and the video afterwards by simply searching on YouTube American Mothers Utah. And I've linked to that on our Facebook page as well. So you can find it there on the 15th. And Diane, before we let you go, can you talk a little bit about the work that you and others put into planning this each year? Because it's not an easy thing to do, right?
It takes a little time, but it is still worth it to me. I think if it can reach one mother, it would be totally worth our time. We have a great group of women that work, and we brainstorm and try to come up with a theme that will build and lift families. One of our board members is kind of interesting. She was just recently in a really bad motorcycle accident with her husband.
Oh, wow.
And I called her here and I said, I don't want to say much, but we're planning our conference, and she's been always there helping us, and she's not able to walk. He's not able to walk. And she said, well, what is the theme? And I said, it's Look to the Day.
Sure.
And there was kind of silence on the phone, and I says, I bet you're looking to the day when you can walk again. And she said, actually, I'm looking to the day when I can go home from the hospital.
Oh, sure.
So it really fits into so many lives, and we sure appreciate you and the KVNU for always
it's our pleasure
supporting us and helping us, and
always our
getting
pleasure.
The word out. But we're excited that it's on YouTube. We hope you appreciate it and like it that way.
Yeah, the feedback we've heard, at least, Diane, this is a positive thing. People like how accessible it is and how they can watch it both when it premieres 1 week from tomorrow, again, November 15th at 7:30 p.m. On the YouTube channel for American Mothers Utah. But then they can also go back, share it with family and friends, say, hey, you should watch this. We did get one story last year of a mom who watched it, enjoyed it so much, she decided to sit her teens down and have them watch it because she thought it would be useful for her kids as well to see. And I love that story. And Diane, always a pleasure to have you join us. For listeners, again, 34th Annual American Mothers Conference. The theme this year, Look to the Day, with special guest Michelle Craig. And that, again, will launch with a live premiere November 15th at 7:30 p.m. on YouTube. And then if you can't make that, it will be available for months afterwards. And go ahead. Sorry.
We have a beautiful song that is sung by Nikki Tate and her two daughters. So there'll be a little music and accompanied by Bonnie Chambers, but we appreciate them also being a part of this. So
very nice.
Come listen and to learn and maybe to reach out in the community. So
absolutely, and just an excuse to appreciate and celebrate moms is never a bad thing. So make time for it. Again, 1 week from today, November 15th at 7:30 p.m., the official launch of this year's 34th Annual American Mothers Conference with the theme Look to the Day, with guest speaker Michelle Craig, musical selections, and more. You'll get to see Diane as well as a part of the video. And it can be found on the American Mothers Utah YouTube channel. I've linked to that on our Facebook page. Or you can just visit youtube.com and search American Mothers Utah, and you'll find it there. And you can even subscribe and never miss one of their productions. And Diane Weese, one of the organizers, past president of American Mothers, has been our guest. And Diane, always a pleasure to have you here on the show, and we'll speak again soon.
Thank you, Jason.
Oh, thank you. Our pleasure. And you have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you. And again, for listeners, I've linked to that on our Facebook page, but one more time, it is 1 week from today, the 34th Annual American Mothers Conference, launching at 7:30 p.m. November 15th on the American Mothers Utah YouTube channel. And we'll be back with more of For the People right after this.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Join us each week for Music and the Spoken Word, featuring the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square, the longest-running continuous weekly network broadcast in the world. Each episode features modern and traditional arrangements of spiritual, classical, and contemporary music and a timely, inspiring message. Truly an uplifting program that will have you returning to each week. Music and the Spoken Word with the Tabernacle Choir.
Sunday mornings at 8 and again in the afternoons at 6 on News Talk KVNU.
Thanks again to Diane Weese for joining us. One more time, the American Mothers Conference 34th Annual premieres 1 week from tomorrow, November 15th at 7:30 p.m. on the American Mothers Utah YouTube channel. On YouTube, just search American Mothers Utah. You'll find it there and can subscribe. It'll even let you know when it goes live at 7:30 next Wednesday. A pleasure to have Diane.